Welcome to That Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Sally Prosser. If you want to speak with style, sass, and soul so you can love your voice and land your message, you're in the right place. Let's hit it. You will not believe what happened to me last Wednesday night. Welcome to a special edition of That Voice Podcast. If you're keeping with the pattern, you'll be like, hang on, 2 solo eps in a row. Yes, I was going to have a guest, but this one could not wait. I had to share. So Wednesday night, picture this. I'm about to run a webinar across Australia for the PSA, which is Professional Speakers Australia. The topic was voice as you've never heard it before. Be careful what you wish for. So I'm ready to go. My slides, good to go. I jumped on Zoom 15 minutes early. The host is just about to let people in from the waiting room and bang! Complete power outage. Now, this is rare. This is like rare. I have lived in my inner city Brisbane apartment for 12 years, more than 10 years. And I would say this is the second time that I've been home when the power's gone out. So this is a really, really rare occurrence, let alone for it to happen right when I'm about to start a national webinar. So I scurry out to the hallway, do the old check. Is it just me or is it the whole building? I look out the window. The whole street is dark. I don't have time for any more checks. I jump back on the call on my phone with dim horror story style lighting from the little battery I had left in my laptop. You know, the laptop was white, so that provided the light behind my phone. And I said, do you want to reschedule? Like, this is really not ideal. And they're like, oh, well, if you're good to go, let's power on. Perfect pun. Powering on through the blackout. And so I delivered it into my phone. I know there's probably a way to share slides from the Canva app onto the phone in Zoom, but I am not up with how to do that. So I raw dogged it and just spoke. I urged people to unmute because I couldn't see the gallery and, look, we got through. And after every presentation, I always do a bit of a debrief to see how I can improve, what worked, what didn't. And I've done a lot of episodes on here about how to deal with the unexpected. How to catch curveballs with confidence is a good one. But I'd have to say the blackout on Wednesday, 2 minutes before going on, actually even closer than that, we were just about to let people in from the waiting room, was the most unexpected tech disaster I have ever had. And I've done a lot of presentations. I thought I'd seen it all. I've had wardrobe malfunctions, dropped clickers, knocked laptops off tables, slides have reformatted. And I know it might sound like, oh my gosh, there's always something going wrong in your presentations. It really is a numbers game. If you don't have a storybook of things not going to plan, then you haven't got your speaking runs up. So in this episode, I'm going to take you through the 5 lessons that I really took out of this experience on Wednesday night with a blackout right before the national webinar. And number 1, honestly, prepare for the tech to fail. Prepare for the tech to fail. We get told this a lot, but we get complacent, don't we? I'm just lucky my phone was charged up. That is not always the case, believe me. I had the screen open on my slides so I could follow where I was going, but I should have had a paper outline of the class as well. You know, when I used to read news on breakfast radio, we always had to bring a hard copy into the booth in case the computer failed. So it was like an automatic thing to hit print, grab the paper, and head into the booth. And I feel that we need to be remembering to do this with presentations as well. Always bring a hard copy. It's a really good habit to have. And if you're relying on PowerPoint notes, which I actually don't recommend, you might feel pretty screwed if you lose that. So have a hard copy. Like, really prepare for the tech to fail. And that leads into the second point. Know your content. Know your content. You're going to fall into one of 3 categories here. 1, you know way more than you think you know, and you need to trust that you can present without slides. This is what I find most of my clients fit into. They're like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but they do. You do. You know more than you think you do. 2, well, maybe you actually don't know enough about the content. You know, if you're quite junior in a role or you've just started with something and, you know, do the work. You need to study up. And the third one is you feel confident the content lives within you. It's part of you. You know, the reason I actually have slides is to keep me in scope. It's to limit the amount that I say because I can freestyle on voice for hours on end. And this was the main reason I didn't get my knickers in a knot with the blackout, because I know all I need is my voice and I'm good to go. And that leads into number 3. Your most reliable technology is your organic human voice. And if you can't captivate with that alone, join Soul Speakers and learn how to. It really is going to be the skill that we take into the future. AI is here, and the humans that will really stand out are the heart-centered, confident communicators who can connect with their voice in a really human, authentic way. So invest in your human voice. And you better believe the blackout also reminded me of the importance of point 4, utilization. Don't ignore the curveball, catch it with confidence. It was obvious we needed to explain the power situation because I was late and you could hardly see me. But I also used it to talk about the importance of the human voice, because when the fancy bells and whistles of tech are stripped away, even if it was so dark they couldn't see me, then how powerfully does that speak to the importance of the human voice? To the human voice as being that true connector. When everything else is gone, what are you left with? And that's what we're here to speak about tonight. So, of course, it led beautifully into my content. And finally, number 5, let go of what you can't control. The frozen technique. Let it go, let it go. I'm a recovering control freak, and even I knew I couldn't control the power grid. I later learned that an underground transformer just up the street from me had blown up. Apparently, it blew out a manhole. Thank God for the community Facebook pages. And 900 properties were without power. So there was nothing I could do about it. There was no point profusely apologizing or continuing to bring it up. What could I control? I could control my voice and the way I engage with people on the call. It's annoying if you just keep going on about something that you couldn't do anything about, especially apologizing. It wasn't my fault the power went out. My very first reaction when it happened was, oh, there goes the webinar. But within a second, I was looking for what I could do, what I could control. Because if you are directing energy towards things out of your control, it's a total waste of potential. We all need to be reminded of this. So I was not about to feel bad or guilty or in any way lesser because we had a blackout. Honestly, nothing to do with me. And when it comes to presentations, there are always going to be things out of our control. And the sooner you accept them and let it go, the more energy gets directed to your voice, to the reason you're speaking, to what matters. Now, when I came on screen, in my little rectangle of darkness, I did see a few people jump right off the call. You know how you can see people leaving a Zoom meeting? It's not all that encouraging. And yes, the class would have been better with full light, full slides. I had videos and a whole lot of fancy things. And all things considered, it went fantastic. And I got some really, really amazing feedback. And then a couple of hours later, we finally got the power back on, which was great because I'm watching The Testaments on Disney and the shows drop on a Wednesday night. So I really needed power back. I was like, thank goodness. Yes, I can heat up my dinner and watch my show. But in the scheme of things, my goodness, for the 2 hours for power to be out, when it's only happened once in 12 years and for it to hit right at a time when I had to do a webinar, whoa, what are the chances? It was almost so freaky that it was meant to happen. So to recap the 5 lessons I can share from my most unexpected tech failure ever, the 11th hour blackout, it's this. 1, prepare for that tech to fail. 2, know your content. 3, invest in your voice. It'll be there for you even if the tech fails. 4, remember utilization. Use the curveball to make your point. And 5, let go of what you can't control. And if you want to become a speaker who takes the microphone with confidence and handles tech disasters in their stride and have a voice that people really listen to without needing those slides, then join us in Soul Speakers. This is the community. This is the program where you will experience this. Book in a call if you're not sure. I've got that link in the show notes, and I'll be back with a guest episode next week. Thanks for listening. If it resonated, please share on your socials and tag us at That Voice Podcast on Instagram. And for episode details, hot off the drop, straight to your inbox, leave your email at thatvoicepodcast.com.